plane in show that is. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they suspended drink service both Burbank to Vegas and Vegas to Burbank and Burbank back. I just think they want to deal with anybody. You
Was
know,
that on Southwest?
that was on Southwest, yeah. But at least my plane. But the airports nowadays, are shit shows because there's less flights and everyone wants to travel. So it,
Well,
it
and
it's
there's a lot of
good.
truth to that. But I noticed American Airlines has started actually offering drink service. So I've had a couple of flights where I've been able to get some, but um, yeah, I got to tell you, I walk through airports. I mean, I still got a mask on. I mean, I'm on a plane. I still got a mask on, even they don't have to, because
No
you
one
just,
does. No, none of my flights. The flight attendants weren't wearing masks, but they said due to COVID regulations, we suspend drink services. They're not wearing a mask. So I guess they
yeah.
didn't have to. What a great job they had. They sat in their asses the whole time, you know. But it was a good flight. The pilots weren't drunk. I got there. I got set yesterday. Yesterday, I'm in town because I'm doing a thing for Johnny Cocktails Entertainment. We'll get into that later. I take
Cool.
a day to go surfing, and I went by myself. My board from my brother's house. I'm gonna have a day on the beach myself. Zuma Beach, for everyone, John, is on
Yeah.
the county line between Los Angeles and Ventura County. I get there, I get my sand, and I have a couple. Not supposed to have any adult beverages, but maybe if Joey Peroni was with me, who knew, right? Follow me on this, and I get my board. I'm waxing up a little bit, and I see this guy. He's in a wetsuit, and he's got a yarmulke on, right?
What? Are
Yes,
you serious?
he's got a board, and he's got to be 80 years old. So I said, I got to follow this guy. And I get close to him, and I see him. He puts his hand in the water to feel it. I hear him go, "Oi!" Like that. He's got the old accent, like it's not going to be cold. This guy is cutting every set, every break. This guy looks like Jerry Lopez from the old days. Sean Thompson now. He looks like Spicoli when he surfed that mad wave in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and he looks fantastic. And then when he one time I saw him wipe, it was a 3 to 5 swell and it was turned into a tubing wipe. I hear him go, "God damn it!" And I said, "Oh my God, my grandfather just came back from the dead." Here's the best story, and I won't keep you on this. There's this other guy. He looks exactly like Tony Danza, but he's got Sylvester Stallone's body from Rocky 3. With it, look, he had baby oil everywhere. He's gorgeous. He's in his 50s. Good looking guy, right? And every time he go under the water, he get up and he pulls his hair back, like, and he look like someone's looking at his hair, dying laughing, right? It's the funniest thing on the planet. So he doesn't know the etiquette of surfing that if you cut somebody off, especially a local, it's very territorial surfing, right? He
Yeah.
cuts the old Jewish guy off. The old Jewish guy go, "Schmuck, it's my fave." F you, F you. The guy goes down. He gets out of the ocean. I'll make a long story short. I see him because he's so concerned about his hair. He puts a ball cap on like I'm wearing on backwards. No one surfs with a ball cap. What does he do? He hits a swell. He backboards the bar up. He goes right into the drink. He loses his hat. I see this guy for an hour looking for his hat. Thinking maybe it washed ashore. So I look at the old guy walking out. Looks at me. We both watch this guy, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Brother Schmuck," and walks away. That was what 6 beers. You couldn't film this and say this is something that happened
You
at a
can't.
beach.
That's only something you could write.
I did. It was great. It was a great day. Great day. It was a little overcast, but it's fun to be there, and it's fun to be back with you right now. I know we're pontificating about my day at the beach, but hey, we go back on Monday. Well, I think we're going to be Tuesday this week because we want to get the
Yeah.
hard line live. But tell us about what's coming up this Monday and continue the rest of the season. Well, rest of the
Well,
year.
we've got the new format coming up, so it's going to be kind of just crazy talk with all of us, and it's going to be the same kind of content, but we're going to do it in a way that's more conversational for you and a lot more fun. We've got Hardline. Hardline's going to be talking about the different bets that are coming up. We've got the NFL camps opening now. There's a lot of controversy going on as far as the whole Deshaun Watson thing. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe by the time we're on, they may have a decision. We're going to find out about that. Certainly, I mean, there's stuff going on in baseball. It's kind of strange and goofy. What's going to happen is because the trade deadline will have passed, so we'll see that. There's some real interesting stories there. Golf is it's okay. We can talk a little hockey that's coming up and basketball. So we got a lot of things to touch on and as well. Plus, we've got our binge watching. So we're going to be doing some binging. I got to tell you what I binged last night. I watched The Captain on ESPN, the documentary about Jeter. It was really interesting. Very, very interesting. So, and he's really honest. And I'm a Red Sox fan. I love Derek Jeter. So so I wanted to see what they did on it. I thought it was really good. But yeah, we've got some really good stuff. And, as we're telling everybody, we come from Vegas and Myrtle Beach, but we hit issues that you're talking about: sports, entertainment, politics, and everything in between. Controversial, but informed. No woke, no extreme, no Karens, no social justice cops here. We're going to let the threes fly, and we're aiming for the third deck. It's going to be a bumpy but fun ride. That is Daily Fish. And that's what we're going to do, because that's what you guys want.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Do you think, there's drama queens, there's Karens you just mentioned. Do you think there's drama kings? Because this guy that I'm going to show you real quick, he dressed up as John Wick, Keanu Reeves' famous character, John Wick, at a Halloween party, and people thought he was really Keanu Reeves. He says this wasn't orchestrated, but let me show you this 23-second clip. I say it's horseshit. Watch.
Okay.
We can hear that. Now, he says he didn't dress like Cameron Poe from the movie Con Air. Horseshit. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he said he didn't know he was filmed. Yeah, and I guarantee he had a cameraman there, and he's walking in slow motion. That's the same scene. The same scene from he throws his double back. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just has to steal the spotlight every second. I love it. I hate it. I love it. But talk about, I mean, the one thing, Nicolas Cage was cut in that movie. Rodgers has to do a little work on his forearms and his biceps, but come on, that really. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's cool, and you know what, I'm not a fan of what Aaron Rodgers is off the field. I'm a fan of what he is on the field. He's an actor. That's what he is, and he's created his brand, and you don't like it. I mean, we had Scott Henry on. And, Scott tells the great story, and he's a huge Packer fan. He actually got a Packer helmet, and he wanted Aaron Rodgers to sign it, and he wouldn't sign it for him. And at the same time, too, we keep rubbing that into Scott as well. So, but that's just his personality, and he's just going to be remembered for that way. Now, is he the type of guy you want to bring to your charity fundraiser? Probably not, because he won't be a lot of fun for a lot of people. But at the same time, too, you know what? He's Aaron Rodgers. He's created his brand.
Yeah. Dave Panatti, fan of the show, said only one guy could ever get you to shut up, Fish, on your show, and that was Joe West last week. He asked you to on your own show. Every time I try to talk, he cut you off. And I said, well, I never lost a lot of arguments as a manager, So that was a lot of fun.
If you talked over him, he was going to throw you out. So
I did try and talk over him. I tried to throw a Billy Martin clip, but I couldn't do it. But that was a lot of fun, and that's part of our formats. We're going to have interviews every week. Hey, John, I am with 62 games to go. I need 11 wins by the Baltimore Orioles. A lot of people are rooting against me that come into my bar because people like to see people fail. Why? I don't know. No. I made an educated bet on the fact that they have a great farm system, and I think I'm going to come through. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to in baseball season. Your baseball season, I'm shocked the Red Sox are 17 games. I don't, and it's now they're 5 games out of a wild card. But I talked to a lot of Red Sox fans. I'm going to ask you this question: they think the season's over. What do you think?
I don't think it's over yet. I mean, I still think there's a chance they could finish in last place and the Orioles could finish in 4th place. I do think, they've had injuries. There's a lot of different things that are going on there. What are they going to do with JD Martinez? What are they going to do with Bogarts? What are they going to do with Devers? And Devers has been hurt. So I think there's just a lot of question marks there. So I think this is a year that's going to be unsettled. On the other hand, I thought the same thing last year at the same time too, and they were only 1 or 2 games away from the World Series. They really turned it around. So could they do it again? Yes. The Yankees, to me, still look fairly strong. They just picked up Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals, which I thought was a great move, a super move. I love Benintendi. He was great with the Red Sox. He's
Yeah.
stunk for a couple of years, and then he's hitting over 300 now. I think it's a great move for them. I like what they're doing. I'm going to be really curious to see what's going to happen over the next couple of days. I'm watching that. I watch the trade rumors. It's a website, and I watch it all. The MLB trade rumors, and where's Soto going? Is there a chance Trout could get traded? I don't think so now that he's got that back problem that they're talking about. But I think there's some big trades. I don't think the Yankees are going to go ridiculous. I think they're just going to kind of stock up, get some more arms, maybe another like a Benintendi or another infielder that they can use. They're still a great team. Everybody keeps, it's a bunch of 230 hitters that can't do situational. Look at their record. I mean, come on. So I think it's going to be a fun rest of the season. The Red Sox, I don't know. I mean, they could turn around and they could be the top wild card team. They could also finish in last place. The Baltimore Orioles are a good team. They're a really, really good team. They remind me a little bit of the Houston Astros about 7 or 8 years ago. The Astros, I mean, they were a minor league team, and this is when all the guys who are the stars now were coming up. They were horrible. They were awful. And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 years later, there they are contending. I think that's what the Orioles are starting to do right now. I think the Orioles could actually make a big trade to acquire somebody else to get them close to the playoffs. So we'll see.
You got to be kidding me. You're sitting there and watching a trade rumor site. Yeah. I'm watching a porn rumor site. You're looking at a trade rumor site.
Who's on Trout.
It? I'm looking for a porn rumor for Trout also. I mean, it's incredible. Who's on it? As long as you're not on it. Oh, you're one.
No, they close it down. They close it down.
Oh my, yes, they close it down. Hey, are you a fan of Bill Maher?
Yes, I love Bill Maher. Watch the show all the time.
Do you think he's credible?
I think he's credible. He's opinionated. That I think in
is he credible? We're all opinionated, but is he credible?
Yeah, no, I think he's credible. I mean, there's certain opinions that he has that I kind of go, I don't know if I agree with that. But at the same time, too, he backs things up with what I would say facts. And
I like the guy because he's anti-religion, he's anti-everybody, and he tries to do facts and tries to show everyone that maybe the far left and the far right have idiotic moments, right? Yeah. He is certain to a T, 1,000%, he said on his podcast, that Trump's running in 2024, which debunks everything you and I say about him getting indicted on the January 6th thing. If he's running in 2024, what does Maher think and Howard Stern think and all these other people that think that he's running? What does Trump have on everybody else? If he beats this, I've watched a lot of this January 6th stuff. I don't know how much you've watched. And if he beats this, he's bigger than Teflon John Gotti. And what do you think? If they think he's running, that means the January 6th thing is a bunch of horse shit and it's been a waste of time.
No, I disagree with that. I think they could indict him and he'll still run.
How?
He can easy.
How can you indict someone and still run? Doesn't he go to trial?
Yeah, it goes to trial and he could be running. Actually, Trump might want the indictment because it might actually fire up his base. No, they could do it. And Merrick Garland, the attorney general the other day said, I was going to call him district attorney for some reason. He said, nobody's above the law. And I think his message was, we're going to indict whoever. And if just because you're running for office, no, we'll indict you. I think that's going to happen. I think both will happen. I think Trump will run. I do think there's a lot of Republicans who are going to be like, I think you could see some primaries against it. I think some Republicans are like, we're getting a little tired of this.
DeSantis wants the job. I heard him say, it's my turn. It's my time.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s. He doesn't want to be 58 or 60 when he does this. And I think Bill Maher doubles down. John, excuse me. Bill Maher and Stern, they double down. I think Trump's going to win. Did that tell me that the Democrats don't have one person to run against this guy? Not one. That Biden's not going to run again, which I doubt he will. I reading the tea leaves there, it doesn't look good for him. I don't know if the party's going to allow Kamala to run. Tea leaves say no.
I don't think she has.
I mean, if Trump runs and wins this thing, What does that say what does that say for the future of the Democratic Party?
Well, I think the future of the Democratic Party isn't bad. The problem that they have is that Biden cannot say he's not running now because then he becomes a lame duck and
Yeah,
then nothing
we know
happens.
that. Right.
So, as a result of that, because of him saying that, you're not developing other people. So, I mean, we've talked about Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is a possibility. He's making some waves with some things that he's doing. Seth Moulton, who is a congressman in Massachusetts, who is a vet, very, very capable. There's a couple of other people that could be. You just don't know about them yet because they haven't really stepped out, and you're not going to know about them. So I do think Trump's going to win. Or he's going to run. I don't know that he's going to win. I do think there are a lot of Republicans that are getting a little tired of him, and they're not really saying that. So a lot of it's going to depend, I think, over the next, few weeks, maybe in the next few months. I think he gets indicted. I mean, I didn't think that. I thought it was maybe about 40, 45% chance before the last couple of hearings. The last couple of hearings, I'm like, okay, I'm actually above 50. I think it's about 60% chance that I think he's going to be indicted.
What is the judge waiting for Deshaun? I've never seen this thing with everything ended on this case about 3-4 weeks ago. What is going on that we don't know about? Is it the four? I'm asking you because you're our legal correspondent here. Is it the 4 cases that are You have more of a. I have more of a sit on the beach and drink a Joe Peroni and watch Yiddish guys.
Jewish.
Yeah. God damn it. You have more of a knowledge of the legal process and the interweavings of what goes on. My question to you is, it's been 3 or 4 weeks. We're in training camp. This guy is practicing with the Cleveland Browns, and there's 4 cases that are undecided or going to court.
Yeah.
Is it? Give me, what's your take on this, and where's this going? Because there has to be closure, doesn't there?
There has to be. And I think the NFL is very confused. They're in a very difficult situation because they probably want to give him, 4 to 6 games or something like that. And they're trying to figure out what's the fallout going to be of that. The Browns have got to figure out as well, what are they going to do if they don't have him? The good news for the Browns is if they don't have him for the first 6 games, they don't have a really tough schedule for the first 6 games. And then after that is, they play some pretty tough teams, and Deshaun Watson would be back then. But I think they're trying to figure out what the fallout's going to be more than anything else. And
I think that this is, I disagree. I think that there's something else that we don't know about. There's something, it's all building up. I think it's a 6 to 8 game suspension, and then Goodell has a right to add on to that. And I think, I don't know what the NFL, I don't know what they're waiting for. I've never seen it like that. When Roethlisberger, they gave him, 4 to 6 game suspension, came down to 4 when he settled. Brady got his 4-game suspension like that with the the plate and the balls and stuff like that. You say they don't have a tough schedule. There's no Vanderbilts or the old Vanderbilts in the NFL. With Jacoby Brissett, the Browns are going to go 2-4 probably. They are not as good with Jacoby Brissett. They're not as good as Joe Burrow's Bengals, Lamar Jackson's Ravens, and I don't know. Mr. Trubisky looks really bad practice.
They don't play any of them until later in the season. And what's interesting is Deshaun Watson's not going to be practicing or playing or in that time. So when he comes back, he's not going to be ready. So
we want closure. We want closure for our Browns Nation. We want to know what's going on because we have last man standing pools that you and I are in for charity. And we want to know if we're going to pick. I'm not touching that game. The Browns played Carolina week 1. I wouldn't touch that if Deshaun Watson was playing. I wouldn't. Baker Mayfield's got a big chip on his shoulder, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So, wow, you're right. The Hall of Fame game's a week from yesterday, so we're 6 days away from that.
Yep.
Right now it's tough because, like you said, as you're looking at trade rumors on your internet, and I'm looking at porn rumors, there's not a lot going on. Except, I will piss you off with one thing. Huge rumors that Bubba Watson's getting ready to jump to the LIV, and so is Charles Barkley. And the LIV said they have major announcements coming next week. I told you this I told you this a month ago that 25 of the top 50 golfers are going to jump to that league because they're offering extraordinary amounts of money.
Yeah, they
have
could.
40 tournaments next year with the purse of what's $405 million is the purse. I forgot. I might be lowballing that.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere up. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around there. I heard Barkley said that I think he's getting a little cold feet because he's going to lose his other sponsorships, and he's asking the LIV for $60 million a year. Again, just to be the broadcaster on it.
Gotta take it. Got to take that.
So,
and like million from TNT, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it was interesting. I think, and a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I think Joe Biden actually gave more legitimacy to the LIV when he went over there and met with MBS in Saudi Arabia. So I think some are saying like, well, if he went over there to do deals with him, why can't I do it?
I agree with you on that one. He went over there because one, he tried to settle some of our old things, and also Saudi Arabia is now an ally of Israel. That Jared Kushner, believe it or not, that idiot. Sorry, Trumpers. That idiot actually negotiated, and when you do something like that and bring an enemy together, so he's doing that as and Israel and England are two of our biggest allies. So he's going there to be sort of like an ambassador. I get that. He fist pumps a guy. Yeah, the human rights issue with Saudi Arabia is abominable. It's horrible. It's abysmal. And Brittany Griner's about to get out. Hear about that? They're trading Brittany Griner for one of the worst criminals ever. Russia won this deal. So good. I want Brittany Griner out as much as anybody. It's horrible what she's there for. 10 years for having a in her pipe. But the Russians have beaten us, Joe, on that one.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Tell us the guy that we're giving back.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is that the United States, I think it was the FBI, they arrested 2 people yesterday. It was like an older couple, and they nailed them for being KGB agents, and they lived in Hawaii. And so there was some speculation that they stepped that up so they could use that as the trade bait for Brittany Griner. But it's a fascinating story. And also we should say this, the fact that we are adding politics in there, we kind of stayed away from that before, but politics and sports and entertainment are so intertwined that we've got to talk about that. And we got to talk about, what we do is we sift through the BS that's out there so that you understand what's going on. But I do think the Brittany Griner thing is going to happen in the next day or two. And the other thing is that, the Russians are going to look really stupid if okay, yeah, she was carrying it. She had CBD oil, but that was a prescription from a doctor.
They just got a major. This guy that we had is a bad guy. Brittany Griner's not bad because she's just a basketball player. What?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, she's a bad one. She's a good person. She's
been in prison for
political, but this guy is horrible, and the Russians are laughing their asses off. It's like trading Derek. You just watch the Cats. It's like trading Derek Jeter for Ryan Leaf. If Ryan Leaf played baseball. And no, good for her. But here's a problem I have with the Brittany Griners is the people that left is that this is another country that has human rights abuses also that not acted. They're not American. So quit thinking, well, if this person is dead. No, they don't care about and the fact that it doesn't help that we.
Oh, that's Putin. Putin's calling you.
Yeah. He wants to get on Daily Fish. Wow. He wants to know what beach I was at. To fry with his chest out with his horse.
True. That's true. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's the guy who does it.
Yeah, but you know what, Brittany Griner, I hope that she gets out. It was what she was in for is nuts. But it's not our country. Okay? So people stop equating us to other people. They treat people completely different in their country. And like I said, it doesn't help that we backed Ukraine in this whole thing. Those politics seem to go against her. But she'll get out. And let's see, she's not going back. I'll tell you that.
Oh, she will not be going back to play basketball there, which is unfortunately for her. She's going to miss $1 million salary a year too. But what's interesting is that going back to a little bit of politics, the fact that Biden went and spoke to MBS, Biden has spoke to Xi Jinping. So, he's got to talk to dictators because they control the world. I mean, one of the things you were talking about with Saudi Arabia is the reason why he went to Saudi Arabia was to get them to start producing more oil so that they would pump up the supply, which would drop the price of oil. Because it's eventually going to start going back up again, especially once we hit the fall. So he had to do that, and so you've got to deal with dictators. And so,
what's your take on that? What's your take on the New York Times and the Washington Post and LA Times said that 64% of Democrats are unhappy with Joe Biden? I don't know if I buy that or not, but can you see that? I mean, we just had their second worst quarter, and I like the guy personally. I think he's a nice guy. He's a good politician, but you got to stop telling people that things are fine. Don't listen to the plan. Your own side, the publications that love the left aren't backing you anymore, including CNN. So I look at those things because you'll never see Fox ever talk bad about a Republican, ever. They don't cover the January 6th. They don't.
Well,
CNN is like, what do you always tell me about CNN? It's a news organization. What do you tell me about Fox?
Well, I mean, Fox has been covering. They haven't covered the nighttime ones, but they've definitely been airing the ones throughout the day. And the reason they don't cover at night is because that's when their commentators are. That's when they're very rabid commentators like Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson. That's when they're on. So they don't put that on. But during the day, when they have their newscasters on, they do show the January 6th hearings.
Yeah, but it's not.
Let me go back to your original question. The Democrats are badly split. The Republicans are becoming badly split, and you're seeing things going in different ways. We're split in the country. I mean, we're polarized. The Democrats got the left and the right going on. They're kind of going against each other. That's why Biden doesn't have a big following. At the same time, too, Trump's going to run into the same thing. He's going to run into the same thing. There's people that are, and the reason why they're not voicing it is because they're scared to death because he's got very rabid followers. So we're a long way away from finding any consensus on anything that's going to be going on.
How does that fix
I
anything?
do think a lot of Democrats and a lot of Americans aren't happy because of the economic situation.
Right, and we will exactly. You want to add more, and I hate the word divide because it's negative. It's a negativity, and we're so divided. I've never seen it. I'll be 62 next month or month and a half. I've never seen this country so divided, and everyone so set in their ways that they can't have an open mind. That concerns me the most. I'm a type of guy. You know what? If that's factual, maybe I'm wrong. Been wrong a lot in my life.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I never thought I'd see that on a beach in Zuma Beach. What I saw, I was wrong. It was greatest comedy ever. But I'm wrong. I mean, we go back. We talked about this on our walks and stuff like that when we called each other and said, what happened to the days when Tip O'Neill said, I can't stand President Reagan, but at the end of the week, we did what was right for the country. Newt Gingrich did not like Bill Clinton. Ever since Bill Clinton was a president, we can't get the two sides together, and the country suffers. We suffer, and no one gives a shit,
Mm-hmm.
And
it's all money. Citizens United. That ruling that came down that said that you have a right to spend as much money as you want on a campaign because it's freedom of speech, and the fact that money is freedom of speech in a campaign.
Before we get out of here, there's an interesting documentary I'm starting to binge on HBO called Anarchy Acapulco or something like that. It's about anarchists that live in Acapulco they just live in Acapulco and are anarchists in the United States, and they believe in crypto. They can't stand I'm just getting into it, but wow. It's insane. Yeah,
I have not heard of that one. I
don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Acapulco and anarchy mixed together. With anarchy first, Anarchy Acapulco or something like that, and it is insane. It's insane as people live, and they just hate our way of life, and they hate government, and they want to just live with crypto as a currency. And I have to watch. I'm not into that, but I'm not into all that stuff.
Well, I am, because I do a lot of segments with a financial subscription service, and we talk a lot about crypto, and crypto is the future. Now,
Yeah,
granted,
sure. I know.
criminals are using it, but when you understand what it is, as far as the blockchain and how it's going to help businesses, this is what businesses are going to, and you're going to start seeing Internet 3.0. In fact, it was interesting. I was talking with Ron Futrell, who we had on the show. Ron's a sportscaster in Vegas. So we were talking about what's going on in television, television news, television sports. And we both agree that there's massive changes coming, that TV news stations, are going to exist in a different way. Streaming, Netflix is having a tough time right now. They're losing subscribers. So, and you're going to start seeing this Internet 3.0, a new stage of Internet that's coming. And you're going to see things like NFTs. They're non-fungible tokens. That's part of the crypto sphere. And that's what companies are going to be using to make it easier to sell to you and for you to navigate. That's all coming. And I'm throwing chaotic stuff out there, but things are changing. And that's one reason why our politics is the way it is today, is because technology is just throwing a lot of things up in the air. But back to that show, I definitely want to see that show. You got me really intrigued on that. I have not even heard of it.
I'm gonna Google it while I'm talking, but I could Google and talk at the same time. It's funny to say that when I was in Los Angeles, everywhere I went, you couldn't pay with cash. There's no cash anymore.
Yeah.
It's really, it's very, very. I mean, even. Oh, by the way, have you been to Los Angeles in a while?
I haven't been to LA in about 3 years.
Okay. A great word. Okay, it's Anarchapulco. Anarchapulco on HBO. So Anarchapulco, phenomenal.
I'm gonna go record it now.
Before we get out, we got 2 minutes. The regentrification of Culver City is unbelievable. It's insane. And it was shocking. But everywhere you go, there's little shops. I went to get ice cream for me and my niece and my nephew. We don't take cash. Thank God I have a credit card on me. But is that the future also?
It is, and one of the things that's happening is that when they start using the crypto or the blockchain, it's going to dramatically reduce the cost of. So, for instance, when you use a credit card, the company who takes your credit card, they get whacked by the either American Express or whatever it is. With the blockchain, and you're going to start seeing banks going to this, you're going to start seeing credit cards it's going to drop it dramatically, the cost of charges when you use your charge card. So yeah, that's coming. That's coming really, really soon. And it could be, I don't know, is there a lot of crime going on in Culver City? Because that's maybe why they don't have usually you don't have cash because of crime.
No. It was just, we're all going, I look at, God, this restaurant, that restaurant, it's great. I mean, but no, it's regentrification. Oakland, parts of Oakland now are phenomenal. With regentrification, I love it. You're blending, you're bringing businesses into lower income neighborhoods, and people are moving there, and it's you're putting everyone together, and it looks like the utopia that we want as the United States, everyone a melting pot. So, John, let us know where we are at, and let us know about. I believe we're going to. The time we're coming back with Hardline and Daily Fish. Go ahead.
So here it is. Daily Fish is live on Facebook at daily.fish.5. Now, normally we're on at Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. This coming week, we're going to be on Tuesday at, is it 5 p.m. Eastern? Isn't that what we said? No, we said 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. That's right, yeah. And you can also watch us on Facebook at Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. You can check us out on YouTube. Again, Daily Fish, Daily, D-A-L-Y, Fish, F-I-S-H. We're also on Hey Vegas TV. You go to heyvegastv.com, and Hey is H-E-Y. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon. You can't see Fish's funny expressions there, but that's all right. You get to hear us. We are also going to have special guests coming on. So we're going to have different type shows. So that show that's going to come up on Tuesday, which normally on Monday, is going to be Fish and me just chatting and talking about different things. We're going to have the Hardline on. Hardline's going to give us the betting on different things, especially the props going into the NFL season. And then we've got another set of shows where it's going to be guests. So like we've had Joe West on there, retired umpire. We've had Scott Henry. We got other people coming up. Linda Cohn from ESPN is going to be on at some point. She's already said she'd be on. So we've got a lot of different guests and things coming up. So you can enjoy. So keep it here. Absolutely. Daily Fish. All right, buddy. Good stuff.